Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your time. Today we will be discussing a critical issue at the heart of Indonesian economy, the efficiency of 3 kg LPG subsidy and reform direction. We will explore how a well-intended policy has evolved into a complex challenge and outline a path towards an energy reform that is targeted, efficient, and sustainable. Let's begin with some context. The 3 kg LPG program, launched in 2007, was initially a success story. It was designed to replace the costly kerosene subsidy. However, over time, this solution has created a new problem. Today, the LPG subsidy has become a policy paradox. On one hand, it's a lifeline for a million of households, but on the other hand, it places a massive burden on our national budget and creates significant market distortion. Now, let's look at the number. As this chart shows, the budget for the LPG subsidy has grown alarmingly. For 2020 and 24 alone, the allocation reached approx 80.2 trillion rupiah. This is not just a number and spreadsheet, it represents a significant opportunity cost. To put it into perspective, with that same amount of money, Indonesia could build approximately 7,500 new community health care centers, or fund the salary of 1.7 million of new entry-level teachers. This highlights the stark trade-off we are facing between subsidizing consumption and investing in our nation's future. The problem goes beyond the budget. The open nature of the subsidy means it is highly inefficient. A large portion is enjoyed by middle and upper income groups who are not the intended beneficiaries. This price distortion creates a chain of negative impact. First, shortage for the poor and for small business or UMKM. Second, it fuels a dangerous black market for illegal gas dispensing. And third, it hampers the growth of small business that cannot secure a reliable energy supply. So, what can be done? There are three main pathways for reform. First, fixing the current system through digital targeting using national ID cards. The challenge here is data inaccuracy and the digital divide. Second, changing the system entirely by replacing the price subsidy with direct cash transfer or BLT. This is economically efficient, but as the data suggests, it carries a high risk of causing a significant spike in inflation. Third, replacing the system by transitioning to electric stove. This is the long-term vision, but it is not a practical solution for today's problem due to massive infrastructure requirements. Considering this challenge, we recommend a cautious and paced reform strategy. Phase 1 is preparation and piloting. Here, we focus on improving the beneficiary database through mandatory ID registration while testing the cash transfer mechanism in select region. Phase 2 is a gradual rollout. We will phase out the price subsidy region by region while simultaneously rolling out the full cash transfer program to manage the economic shock. Finally, for the phase 3 is relocation and transition. The fiscal saving will be reinvested into stronger social safety nets and programs to fund a just energy transition. In conclusion, reforming the LPG subsidy is not just about saving money, it is about making a strategic choice to reallocate our nation's resources towards a more productive, equitable, and sustainable future. It's about transforming a multi-billion-dollar economic drain into a powerful investment in Indonesia's most valuable asset, its people. This is an investment in our health, our education, and the foundation for a clean energy future that leaves no one behind. So that concludes my presentation. Thank you for your attention. I would now be happy to open the floor for any question or discussion. Please feel free to add a comment in my YouTube. Thank you.